Welcome to Old Guy Tech,
the OGT.TV recording studio.
Technology for the rest of us.
Hi, I'm Rob Charney, Old Guy Tech TV, and today is our roundtable discussion of strange, unusual, funny stories that we find around the internet. And we have James Stevens,
hello,
newly married, by the way, and Jonathan Charney, who's going to bring us some unusual stories. And John is asked to go first, so John, be my guest.
Johnny gets to go first. All right, go.
So a Milton man has been arrested after a giant non-edible chicken was allegedly stolen in Brantford. The 8-foot-tall fiberglass fowl was pinched from a chicken farm on Bradford Road. The suspect allegedly made off with the big bird after severing its legs. The drumsticks were left behind.
So, now, did they say what he cut it with? He just showed up with a hacksaw and hacked this thing up and just took off?
Severing it at the legs. Which, what do you want with a half a bird?
And drumsticks are pretty high up on the thighs. I mean, you didn't really take the legs, you just took the torso and the head?
Yeah, I just have this picture of him doing this, like, rounded cut, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm picturing.
It was fiberglass, right?
Yeah.
And why? What would you do with a fiberglass chicken?
I don't think you want to know.
The police say they recovered the missing fowl from the suspect's home.
It's not furries, it's fiberglassies.
And why does that make it a fowl?
It's a bird, though.
It's a mascot or a logo.
Well, that's what the animal is.
I'm assuming that's got to be what it is. Like a chicken farm, and they have a fiberglass bird for a logo or mascot.
I just want to know why somebody would want to do that. And here's one that if you've ever been a parrot owner or been around one for long enough, this is
parrot owner.
You'll see. This is funny.
Okay.
Parrots.
The British owner of a stolen parrot said he hopes the thieves will bring the bird back once they've heard enough of her singing the hits of Queen.
I don't know. It depends on how good the bird is.
So the bird did Freddie Mercury, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Holy cow.
That's kind of cool, actually.
That's kind of a double entendre right there. African grey parrot named Chico was stolen from the Hersley home last weekend, along with a PlayStation 3 game console. He thinks the thieves won't be too happy when they realize Chico loves to squawk the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's awesome.
We are the champions and Killer Queen.
Ooh, Killer Queen?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. How about some fat bottom girls or something? Or bicycle? That bird would come back flying.
If that bird sang bicycle, it'd come back in a bag. I'm a great fan of Queen, and I'm used to Chico squawking and whistling their tunes. But not sure it's everybody's cup of tea, Booth said. I don't think people will have her appreciate her squawking Galileo and I'm just a poor boy and then all at the time. Let's see. He hopes whoever brings the bird back, although he doesn't care too much about the game console. They can keep the PlayStation 3. I'm not bothered, he said, but my bird was a family member.
See, now, one thing that doesn't make sense is he named it after one of the Marx Brothers and it sings Queen.
It would have been funny if it was named Brian Wilson.
He just put Queen on the stereo for most of the time during the day, and the bird picked it up. That's how they do it.
Must be it, yeah.
You know, so he is obviously a Queen fan, and Bird decided it liked Bohemian Rhapsody.
I just think that's funny. Just, squawking all the time and.
Oh my God! Having had a blue and gold macaw, I probably would shoot the damn thing.
After a while. See, I remember as a kid, you threw something at it and it went. It dodged and hit the window.
Yeah. We won't go there.
The bird deserved it. Okay, 51 pounds of pot packed in tea bags. Also a double entendre. The Missouri Highway Patrol said a trooper discovered 51 pounds of marijuana in bags labeled tea.
Like, did they individually put them in tea bags?
Well, what I figured this is it's in like a cardboard box labeled tea.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like if they did it in little tea bags, that'd be kind of creative, and then you can see all the potheads are tea baggers.
Imagine all the work
I don't
they
think
would
it's
have
clever,
to do.
But it's pretty clever.
I mean, think about the guys that come across the Mexican border. I mean, they stuff things in like tires and gas tanks.
Yeah.
They create their own little compartments. I mean, that's a lot of work too.
The driver gave permission for the troopers to search his car. Discovered 51 pounds of marijuana in bags labeled tea, packed into 5 cardboard boxes in the bed of a truck.
So he gave him permission, though. That's an interesting.
So you just think if you get a box and you write tea on it, it's good enough?
But it's pretty much. How old was this guy too? It doesn't.
How do you spell tea in Spanish?
I don't know.
Maybe it's tea. I don't know.
Okay, this was Ken Chang, 61, of Orlando, Florida. So obviously not the brightest.
Ken Chang. Well, that means he's not Hispanic, I don't believe. But
Must have been a public schooler.
Yeah. You're not the victim of the public education system like I am. So.
Oh, man. That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
So,
all right, so you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Apparently, owning a smartphone does not boost its users' intelligence. 2 men who told police that prostitutes stole their iPhones allegedly started a sex worker shootout at a California motel on Thursday.
A sex worker shootout.
This was yesterday. Caesar and Yazel Salaron, 28 and 25, were reportedly trying to get their phones back when they approached
their what back?
Their phones.
The
iPhones.
phones.
I thought you said foes. I'm
No,
going,
no,
what's
phones.
a foes?
They stole
Phones
they
back.
They
okay.
say they stole their iPhones.
Okay.
They approached a Stockton motel room door.
Oh, God,
One of them allegedly fired a round at the door to get the woman to come out. I don't know very many women that come out when you shoot a bullet through their door.
I certainly wouldn't.
What they didn't expect was that the prostitutes were also packing heat. Someone inside the Stockton motel room.
Were they packing? They were
Hold
packing
on.
protection.
Yeah. Fired a round back through the door and injured one of the men.
That's a good
So
shot.
the one that fired through the door
There you
initially is
go.
a bad shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And the woman fired back probably right where the round went through the door.
Yeah. Good for
And
her.
got one of them.
Good for her. Jeez.
The Solomon Salarons showed up to a nearby hospital for treatment and were subsequently arrested. They faced charges of assault with a deadly weapon and negligent discharge of a firearm.
I'm glad they clarified the firearm part.
Yeah. All right, I do have one more since John had short ones. I got another good one from yesterday.
I like good ones. Go.
In Kemah, Texas, police say a man arrested in southeast Texas City for riding his unicycle in the nude
Yeah.
was distracting drivers and creating a hazard.
You think?
That sounds very uncomfortable.
I saw the video. Of course, they hazed out the private parts.
Yeah.
But
Thank God.
how can you imagine putting your bare ass, testicles, and penis
hold
on a seat?
There's more of this story.
Oh
here.
God, yeah, I know.
The police
All right,
chief Greg Rickard says 45-year-old Joseph Glenn Farley was not intoxicated or impaired.
Wait, how old was he again?
45.
45.
Wow.
When he was arrested Wednesday on a bridge in the city 20 miles southeast of Houston. Ricard says Farley had been falling off the unicycle into traffic. How great would that be? You're going down the bridge and all of a sudden a naked dude falls right in front of you.
I'm surprised nobody sped up.
Well, what he told officers is that he liked the feeling of riding without clothes, which were found at the base of the bridge. His bond is set at $1,500 and he's charged with a misdemeanor of indecent exposure. You know, I can't say that there's many times that I say I want to be naked out in public.
Yeah, no kidding.
But even if it does feel good, there's a little bit of discretion that needs to be taken
like I said,
into
I
account.
saw the video. This guy could not ride a unicycle very well, so his falling off was all the time.
I bet it was.
It was
Those
pretty.
are kind of tricky. Unicycles are pretty.
Oh yeah,
tricky.
they are. Oh,
I haven't ridden one since I was about 13.
I
but
tried. I never could.
I
conquer
fell a
it.
lot.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't get it.
My mom used to be able to do that.
Good for her.
Sounds very uncomfortable. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? I'm not. As I got older and heavier, I'm less and less a bicycle fan. The seats just aren't made right for us old guys.
How come it's always the ugly people who get this? It's always the older people, overweight. Why not? Why can't you ever see like
because they all go to the nude beaches.
They know better anyway.
Yeah, they're not
they
stupid.
don't.
But I never understood why guys have that nice long bar right there. That if you fall, you're splitting your eggs.
I don't know.
And the women have the one that slope. I understand that women used to wear dresses, and that's why they had it that way a long time ago. But dude, come on. Well, guys have things in between their legs too.
Going back far enough in bicycle riding, I had the famous Stingray with the banana seat when I was a kid. I mean, that was hot. That man, I was badass, when I was, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I'll tell you what, that was actually the most comfortable bicycle seat ever made for man, or for a kid, as far as I'm concerned. It was padded, it was great, but you can't get that kind of seat on a regular.
No, you can't, not anymore.
So, you go to a bicycle shop, and then they have these seats filled with gel on your butt pad areas, but still your testicles aren't protected very well. What always got me is, did you ever see a Civil War saddle? Have you ever seen one? It was called a McLeod.
I've seen them, but I've never actually looked at them enough to really notice the differences.
They were actually made so that the center of the saddle was open. There was nothing there. So your dangly parts, I guess, dangled easier in these things. They're very hard leather, but I mean, guys rode them for hours and hours and hours. But it was very interesting when you look at it. You kind of go, what a clever
Makes
design.
sense,
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's very interesting. So
yeah, that was obviously something a man designed.
obviously, exactly,
Wow.
exactly.
Make
Yeah.
sure I'll tell your wife that.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty funny. I got a couple that I pulled off of the internet this morning.
The tubes.
I like this. This one was titled, "After her live-in boyfriend repeatedly rebuffed demands to have sex, a Florida woman allegedly attacked the man in their bedroom, chased him out of the house, and broke the windshield of his truck."
Wait.
Police
So
reported.
a guy said no to his wife having sex
Repeatedly.
Was
Okay,
he
so
straight? I've never heard anybody do that.
Stacey Ann Ortiz, a 34-year-old waitress, was busted on a misdemeanor battery charge following the confrontation last Wednesday morning
She pulled a
at the
Tiger Woods'
Fort
wife.
St. Lucille residence the couple had shared for the last several months. In a detailed report, police reported Ortiz and her beau, 27-year-old, quarreled about returning home from a night of drinking at a pal's house while Ortiz sought to have sex. Her boyfriend wanted to lie in bed and watch TV. He was obviously too intoxicated to probably do
that
anything.
does happen.
So.
And, one of the things I've found is that there's been a study on this, and alcohol doesn't actually increase a man's libido. It decreases it.
Absolutely.
Completely
It
decreases
makes it worse. That's right.
Yeah.
So the poor guy was smashed,
Yeah.
and she wasn't happy about apparently what he wasn't willing to do without. Anyway, that was
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But
You know,
if you do
and I
get
saw
married,
the mugshot. She's not an unattractive woman. I mean, she's not gorgeous, but I mean, it's.
But I mean, if
it's
you get
not
married,
one of those
you do have to be expected to
coyote
have sex.
coyote ugly, chew your arm off so you don't wake her up type person.
Well, then being drunk would help.
So,
that was the case.
Where is she on the scale of tanned leather and Elizabeth Taylor? Tanned leather being the ugly, Elizabeth Taylor being back in the day.
Back in the day,
I don't
like
know.
the
I
Cleopatra
call
day?
her a
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Okay.
I mean, she didn't. I always a mugshot. I have no idea what from the neck down.
Well, any
looked like,
type
so.
of mugshot, you don't look very pretty in.
Yeah, and she wasn't
So
bad.
if she's
so.
a 6 or 7 in a mugshot, she might actually be an 8
She
must
might
look
be.
great
or
hammered
a 7.5. When
Seven-
you get
So-
the expanded vision of it,
7 and
like
3/4.
After the victim reportedly turned down Ortiz's sex requests, manners turned physical, according to the police. Ortiz allegedly attacked the victim, who told cops that, in an effort to get away from her, he ran downstairs and out the garage. Ortiz, the victim added, chased after him. At this point, the man called 911 to report that his girlfriend was chasing him down the street and was attacking him. When cops arrived, the victim, only wearing his underwear, had a cut on his forehead and several scratches on his chest. So she was rather...
I'm actually surprised.
frustrated.
She was desperate.
He could just go buy her a vibrator or something.
I'm more surprised.
that's some sexual frustration, I guess.
I guess. Holy cow.
I'm surprised the 911 operator didn't say something like, "Grow a pair, come on."
I know.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't get harassed that, because his friends
Jeez.
are never going to let that
Oh,
down.
no
ever,
joke.
Ever.
No joke.
That'll be 40 years later and go, "Uh-oh, be careful." Yeah. Here, you got to use the,
Maybe he'll learn a lesson here and not drink. Let's hope.
Yeah, that's a big lesson.
It's AA time for this gentleman so that he can make his girlfriend happy. Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Or just dump her ass.
My last one here has to do, and I think it was in the news big time yesterday. 2 Indiana parents are facing felony child neglect charges after they allegedly drove around with their respective children tied to the hood of the car with a yellow tow strap. The children's ages 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, wow.
4 kids were not harmed during the bizarre incident late yesterday afternoon in Fort Wayne.
Wait a minute.
That's impressive.
4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
That poor lady.
The car's driver, Aaron
Wow.
Stensfield, 29, is the biological father of 3 of the children and was arrested on drunk driving and child neglect charges. Passenger Jessica Clark, the mother of the 4 child strapped to the vehicle, was busted for child neglect. According to...
He was drunk?
You think?
That makes it worse.
According
you
to
could do
probable
it
cause
sober.
effects, cops received a complaint that a male white had strapped 4 young children to the hood of their white sedan and drove south on Fairfield with the children still strapped to the hood of the vehicle. The 911 call was placed by the manager of the liquor store who reported spotting a man using a ratchet strap to lash 4 children to the hood of the vehicle and then driving off. The guy's 1987 Chevy Caprice was subsequently pulled over by the federal marshal who heard the child neglect call over a police radio. A cop who arrived at the scene reported smelling booze on the breath of the gentleman, whose blood alcohol content was substantially measured at .17, twice the legal level.
Holy cow.
0.17?
Yep.
0.17.
How was he not dead? That's a lot.
No. Legally dead is 0.5.
Yeah,
That's alcohol poisoning and dead.
This guy was hammered anyway.
That's an understatement.
Asked by police why the children were strapped to the car's hood, he replied, "I was only going to drive around the corner," he added. "I thought they would like it." The kids were going to have fun.
I remember always getting threatened as a child. I'm going to strap you to the hood of the car, but it was never actually going to happen. That's impressive.
Wow, that's an interesting one. I mean,
And what a story growing up. Hey, did you know my dad strapped me to the hood of my car?
he'll be out in 3 years.
Wow.
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 Jeez.
Oh my gosh. So
I mean, now those old Chevy Caprices, I mean, you could fit all the kids in
oh,
there.
absolutely. You can see what you can do. Strap 4 down with a ratchet, though. Is this tight enough, Johnny?
I don't know. I think he just broke 3 ribs.
See, I think there was a fight that took place, and, the father said, I'm just going to strap you to the hood of my car.
Hey, did you notice there was a theme in my stories? What was the theme? Alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously plays a big part of stupidity.
Yep.
So
Wow.
there's a lesson for you folks out there. Don't get hammered.
That's it. I wonder if the guy who stole the chicken and left the drumsticks was out drinking.
Alcohol probably plays a part in everything.
Because that seems like the world.
Know.
Just think about that's like the dumb things you do on a bet. Because one of his friends go, "I dare you to steal the chicken."
Well, according to what the police say, the naked unicyclist wasn't drunk.
There's something else.
I don't even know what to say to that one. You think about it and go, okay, this guy wasn't drunk and he was still naked on the unicycle.
He wasn't. There's.
No, I think he was high on life.
I don't know.
I think he probably had what they refer to it as wet brain, where you've drank so much that your brain no longer functions anymore properly, and you still do stupid things.
There was something else wrong with a guy. That's like one of those stories, and then I had tequila, Because everybody I've ever known who's had tequila, nothing good happens after that.
Yeah, well.
Oh, there's the song.
Brings another good reason why I don't drink. It's just I'm crazy enough without it. So. Hey, listen, we're going to wrap this up. Get James to lean back for a second. I'll wrap it up. Hey, this is Rob Charney with Old Guy Tech TV with James Stevens, Jon Charney. We hope you enjoyed this little roundtable discussion as much as we did. We had a good time. Hopefully you do too. We'll see you next time. Hi, I'm Rob Charney, Old Guy Tech TV, and I'm here to talk to you today about Windfall and the El Dorado County Fair. The largest event of El Dorado County will soon be here. Don't miss this opportunity to promote and build your business by advertising in the 2012 El Dorado County Fair Guide, published exclusively by the Windfall. The El Dorado County Fair Association is very excited to partner with Windfall again this year. Last year was such a success, we are thrilled to work with them again. The exposure that the El Dorado County Fair has in our community is amazing. We don't want you to miss it. Jody W. Gray, CEO of El Dorado County Fair, just told us this. So distributed in the Windfall and El Dorado Hills Telegraph, June 8th, 2012, and available to the public at the welcome information booths at each entrance during the fair. This user-friendly guide features a map of the fairgrounds, event, vendor locations, and includes the schedule of events. Reservations are required. Space is limited. Circulation is 20,000 plus copies, and the deadline is 5/25/2012. So make sure you get your ad into the windfall today. Tell them Rob sent you.